Welcome back to the Raider D podcast, everybody. Today, everything was getting really heated in the joint practice against the Los Angeles Rams and the Las Vegas Raiders. Punches were thrown, temper tantrums were being done, hurt feelings all across the field, and all of it was on the Rams because Max Crosby is a beast. He goes hard, and apparently somebody on the Rams didn't like it. One of the offensive linemen got a little bit in his feel-goods about it. And so there were a few words said, and apparently there was a punch thrown. Don't really know the validity of that. Hopefully that there is no suspensions or fines or any of that nonsense going to be dished out by the NFL if that was in fact the case. But we all know Max Crosby is an absolute defensive nightmare. He is a beast. He goes hard. He is trying to get a sack on every single down. It doesn't matter if it's joint practice. It doesn't matter if it's team practice, and it doesn't matter if it's preseason or regular game. If he's on the field, he's going to go hard. So Los Angeles Rams fans, boo-hoo, sorry, your guys were up in their feelings a little bit, but this is football. It's a grown man sport played by a bunch of little kids in overgrown bodies. So that's just the way it is. Those are my 2 cents on the whole issue. So we'll go ahead and just let it lie there. Now, I wanted to talk about a little bit of something today, and it goes back again to the Josh Jacobs situation. Now, I know you've been watching this channel from the beginning. You know I talk about Josh Jacobs a lot, and that's because the contract hasn't been signed. Okay, he's not on the field. He's not on the team. We don't know what's going on with him, but there is an interesting little caveat that is going on right now, and that happens to be with the awesome Pro Bowl defensive lineman for the Kansas City Chiefs, who is also holding out right now, a man by the name of Chris Jones, and he is an absolute stud. So, who is Chris Jones? Chris Jones is a defensive lineman for the Kansas City Chiefs. If you do not know who this man is, are you really a Raider fan? Because you have to know who our rivals are. You have to know the enemy. And this guy has been the enemy for a few years against the Raiders. He's gotten a bunch of sacks against us. He terrorizes the offensive line. He's an absolute stud, and he is not happy. He's holding out right now with the Kansas City Chiefs. They cannot come to a deal, so he has not signed his franchise tag, and he is not reported for camp. So he's also been liking tweets about him being in the silver and black. This is very interesting because it creates a dynamic. We have a player in the silver and black who is not happy with his contract, and our front office and coaching staff come from New England, and the New England system is we don't pay running backs big money. It doesn't matter how good they are. We can take 4 different running backs, do running back by committee, and it's all about the scheme. It is not about the player. That's their mindset. We know this. We also know that they come from the New England-Pittsburgh platform and program that is been built by Bill Belichick. And who is Bill Belichick? He is a defensive coach. And so the Patriots have always had a really good defense. And they're always really big on the defense. Defense wins championships, according to Bill Belichick. And so are the Raiders, or would the Raiders be interested in a deal to solve both rival teams' problem that they both have right now? Right now, they both have a superstar on the team who is holding out, refusing to sign their franchise tag, and causing all kinds of distraction and chaos in their teams. Well, apparently the Chiefs don't value this guy, Chris Jones, as much as he values himself. We know that his price tag is going to be expensive, but the Raiders have cap room, and if Mark Davis can afford it, he can structure that in a way with signing bonuses and whatnot, come out of pocket. He can make that work. Look at the Los Angeles Rams. That's what they do, right? So what if you were to do a swap? Now, if they do a swap, and because of the franchise tag rules, there's this weird rule where there's going to have to be an automatic 2 first-round draft picks involved. But what if, now hear me out, what if the Chiefs and the Raiders swapped these two players, and Jacobs gets the contract he wants because they value running backs in they value running backs in Kansas City, and Chris Jones, he gets the contract he wants because the Raiders value defensive linemen. And so they both get the deal that they want. And now this 2 first-round draft pick rule comes into play. So if the Chiefs were to get Josh Jacobs, they would have to give 2 first-round draft picks to the Raiders. But if the Raiders were to get Chris Jones, then they would have to give 2 draft picks over to the Chiefs. So it would be a wash. They would keep their first-round draft picks. They would solve their problems. Oh, my goodness. I am a genius, everybody. We could have Chris Jones on the team. We would hate to see Josh Jacobs go. And you know that I am a huge proponent of Josh Jacobs. But if we get Chris Jones instead, and Josh Jacobs plays against us, and Chris Jones is a monstrous defensive lineman who would stop Josh Jacobs from running all over us, I'm just saying, it's genius. I will see all of you guys in the next video. Make sure you like, subscribe, and all of that fun stuff. See you in the next one.